Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, unlimited-story.com, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. If you want to support this channel and the things that I do, just search Unlimited Story on Kindle or Kindle Vella. That's me. I'll also have links in the description below. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Briarheart by EM Calhoun. And here's the description. Deya has always protected her twin brother. When Dax is drafted into an endless war, she sees no way forward save for fighting in his place. But clever adversaries and all-seeking gods lurk in every shadow and threaten to turn this act of deception into a threat against their very lives. With loyalty, love, and a bit of luck, Deya's journey begins and promises to either end in ruin or make her into a hero of legend. New episodes on Thursdays. Alright, what do we got here? Fantasy, adventure, gender swap. Interesting. Vikings, strong heroine, sword and sorcery, new adult. And I am assuming that's going to be our main character. Nice little runes on those knuckles. That looks fancy. Do not want to mess with her. So, let's get started. I've just finished reading the first 3 of Briarheart, and I'm going to start out this review by actually reading the first paragraph, because this first paragraph is absolutely crucial to the story. If you do not essentially accept this paragraph, you're going to spend the rest of the story being like, why are these characters the way they are? Like, I just, you don't get it. This is like, I don't want to say it's a world building. Yeah, I guess it is a world building mechanic. It is basically the mechanic that these two characters are working off of. So, here we go. Among the many whispered myths that echoed in Skleen, it was once said that twins share a fixed measure of both luck and love. For some, it meant a balanced share between the two. For others, it destined one beloved, one fate favored. For an auspicious and inauspicious few, a single twin hoarded both gifts. Rarest yet was a young shepherdess who prayed for neither. It was her twin brother, Dax, who needed fortune, and she had no use for love. Okay, what is this story about? Twins, clearly. And there's 2. Well, not 2 sets of twins, but 2 characters. Okay, so there's Deya, and then there's Dax. Okay, Deya is your archetypical. Anyway, she is your base, strong female character. You got Dax over here. He's your bard. So, of course, I love bards, so I love this character. I'll start out with Deya. She is out, doing things. I don't want to say she's profitable. Like, these kids don't have parents, and I'll be covering that in a bit. So it's just the 2 of them, and they are very, very close, okay? And they care about each other. They want to see each other succeed, so on. So it's a great relationship between the 2. But it is very clear that Dax is, like, totally bringing them down because he ain't capable of much. So getting back to Deya, she's out doing shepherdess things. She's protecting them. There's a wolf. She actually fights that wolf. It's a one-eyed wolf with, like a golden eye kind of thing, which I'm pretty sure has a little bit of, was it Norse mythology? Yeah, because that's, was that Odin? Yeah. I mean, these are Viking people, so this all starts to make sense. And there's plenty of references. And I do want to just skip over to the world building for a hot second and just say, the world building in this is phenomenal. I can tell there's just a lot built into it. Okay, there are these factions and these locations, and there's this endless war, and there's tons of characters that are referenced throughout the book, which you don't remember any of them because they don't really play a huge role in the story, at least in the first 3. So anyway, Deya is doing her shepherdess thing, and she is totally, protecting the sheep, I guess. She's fighting wolves, or at least this is a beastly big one, which also isn't maybe real because it could be Odin. Anyway, so she fights this wolf, and she has luck, right, because she survived. So following this mechanic here, if she has luck, that means Dax does not have luck. Okay, so let's skip on over to Dax. So Dax is, I don't want to say a floozy. I'm going to call him a floozy. He's a lush. I don't really know. He is basically, him and his sister, they're making a living of sorts. So she is just tending to sheep while he is out seducing people, convincing them. He finds, like, older women and is like, oh, you're so good. He's basically just, like, telling them what they want to hear. Then they give him food, I guess, and he's like, thanks. And then he pieces out. Like, I don't really know how this works. Like I guess he's known for it, so it bothers me because if you were in a small town, which these Vikings didn't live in towns of thousands of people, they just you get a reputation, and eventually people stop giving you stuff. But whatever the case, this bard guy basically just he preys on people, specifically women, to get him food. I mean, in one of these sections, he just basically tells this wonderful story to this gal for some bread, and he's like, "Thanks, it's not the best bread, but peace." And he's out. So again, they are these two characters are like interwoven, like I guess their luck, their fortune, and all that jazz. So Deya, she ends up fighting this wolf, and I guess does a fine job because she ain't dead. And then Dax ends up getting drafted to this endless war. So this endless war that is happening, I know very little about it, except people are gone for like years on end, okay? And when they come back, if they come back, they're maybe missing a body part or something like that. They all go into different locations. So what ended up happening to Deya and Dax's parents was, I guess Dax was supposed to go, but in an effort to make him not go, because everyone knew he'd die because he's a bard and not a warrior going into a war, the dad went instead of him. So, and then after that, dad didn't come back. And this dad is apparently like beast mode. Like, no one really messes with him. So he didn't come back. Bad stuff. Very sad. And then like the mom was really bummed out, so she just ended herself, or I don't want to say ended herself. I think she might have died of being sad. So something along those lines. That is what happened. So these two characters are basically, again, they're close. They're brother and sister, but I really struggle because, Deya, it's so clear she cares about her brother, but at some point you got to be wondering, like, wouldn't you just slap this guy and be like, hey, I don't want to say toughen up, but like, can you start doing some stuff? Can you start pulling some weight? We're riding the struggle bus because of you and your little, I don't know, seduction ways. So they tried toughening him up, but it's just not really working out great. So in the end, and it's already kind of explained in the description, so I'm actually really glad that the description basically told me what I should be expecting in the first three. Deya just like does the old haircut move, which is, in my mind, it looks very dramatic and it's great. So she cuts off her hair and she's like, I'm Dax now, and no one's going to know because, they're going to this place where no one from their city would be there, so no one would know. So I guess essentially she's going to pretend to be Dax, and Dax just gets to run away. Like I'm very curious what the purpose is. So these two characters are going completely different directions. Dax is just going to live the life as a vagabond or something like that. He's just going to run around, and maybe a hobo is a better word, but a hobo would be on a train, maybe. Anyway, I'm getting off subject again. And then Deya's just going to go fight in this war for him. I'm really, I think I don't know. Like, I'm really curious what this war is about, because if it's just like she's going to be helping people out, doing some medical stuff, or it's transferring goods, fine. But if she's like going into a full frontal war, I have tons of questions. Like, one, how are they not going to discover that it's a female? I mean, this isn't a Disney movie and she's not Mulan, so I'm curious about that. I'm just curious about a lot of things. But on the other hand, there's magic. There's all kinds of stuff. There are rules that can be broken and worked around. So I'm very curious to see how this goes. As far as the writing, I gotta say the writing is pretty sweet. Okay, like, sometimes when I'm reading stuff, I'm like, okay, this is more my speed. This one, like, you spend your time thinking a little bit more, because there are references that are, I don't want to say obscure, but they require a little bit more mental. You actually have to be more engaged than just be like passively reading, because she'll be making references like, oh, this is something. It sure is a snow melt or something like that. I was like, snow melt. And I was like, I don't see that word often. And I was like, I get it. Like, after a little bit of thought, so it is like very well written. There's a lot put into the story. I can say that right out of the gate. Like, I'm reading this and I was like, oh, okay, this is the kind of level of story that I should be expecting. So great story overall. My biggest struggle is actually the characters, because if I was in that situation, I would be, oh my God, like, I would just really struggle with my twin just being virtually useless. Like, that's what I got out of him. Like, I just see him and I'm like, Deya is just killing it. She's great. She does her job. She's doing good things for herself, and Dax is just over there flirting and trying to seduce people for bread. And that is a wrap for Briarheart. If you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing or at least watching another one of my videos that YouTube recommends. If you would like to have your story reviewed, just hit me up on Discord. Information is on my website and in the description below, so you can always just reach out to me there. And one other thing about our Discord, it is a wonderful place. It's been great. There's just a lot of great authors in there, just talking shop, sharing news, sharing basically what's happening on Kindle Vella. So that's been great. Thank you to the people who are in there. You guys have made this whole experience, the whole YouTube, and just getting to know people that much better. So I truly appreciate it, and thank you very much. And I guess that's it. Peace.